My best friend asked me to keep her secret, now I feel guilty. Long post. Names changed for privacy. I, 28 female, have been friends with John, 29 male, since high school. We were never romantically interested but were in the same friend group. Over the years we became good friends. I married and he married. Our group would go camping and hang out once a month for years. His wife Kim, 31 female, and I grew very close. She felt more like a sister to me than a friend. John was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy and ended up becoming the stay-at-home dad to their one child. Not long after, they confided in our friend group that John had an adult entertainment addiction. We are all religious, so adult entertainment is very frowned upon in our community. But everyone took it really well. No one treated him any differently, and we all offered support. His wife had a really hard time with the addiction. Even after years of different therapies, his addiction was worse than ever. She gave him an ultimatum and he started showing signs of improvement, still struggling, but he was working really hard to get things under control. One day Kim called me and asked me to keep a secret. She had cheated on John, at work with a married man with kids. They had just met a week earlier. She had also started smoking with her new boy toy, will be referred to as BT from here. I tried not to judge and just listen. She told me she was so ashamed and was going to tell BT it wouldn't happen anymore. But over the next month it happened again and again. I tried to encourage her that she should tell John, but she would make different excuses and started smoking all the time. My breaking point was after Kim lied to John about going to work. She actually dropped hundreds of dollars on paraphernalia, came to my house super intoxicated, ate an entire box of cereal, napped, and was texting BT to set up a time to meet up. I asked what she was going to do. She said she was ready to divorce John. But she wanted to wait about 6 months until after their expensive tropical vacation his family was going to pay for. I asked what she would tell him when divorcing him, and she had decided that she wasn't going to tell him about the affair. Just tell him she couldn't deal with his addiction anymore. I told her, that will destroy him. But she just shrugged it off and left to meet up with BT without using protection. It felt like I had swallowed hot coals. My friend group was going to be hanging out in a couple of weeks. There was no way I could look him in the eye knowing what I knew. After so many sleepless nights, I gave Kim an ultimatum. I told her I was going to tell John in 3 days and that it would be better coming from her. She said, "How could you do this to me?" But I said, "I didn't do anything, you did." She agreed and told John that night. She called me after, when she was on her way to stay with family. She told me about the conversation. She told him she wanted to work it out. But lies that her and BT had used protection. Also left out how many times it happened and that she was doing paraphernalia. At the end of the 3 days, I called to check up on John. He didn't know that she had told anyone and started asking me questions. I ended up telling him everything, even the things she hadn't told him. He told me he had been on the fence about divorce, but the fact that she hadn't come totally clean was the last straw and he was going to file. She confronted me later saying, "Why didn't you tell me I had to tell him everything?" She said she was hurt I told him, but she didn't have any other friends, so she didn't want to lose me. I helped her move and brought her some dinners, but we have really drifted apart. Not that I'm surprised. I still mourn that relationship though. She was my best friend for years. I have a lot of guilt for not keeping Kim's secrets and being tipping point for John to divorce. I feel like I was a good friend to John, but with Kim, was I the bad person? TLDR, my best friend had an affair with a man she just met. She started lying about going to work to paraphernalia and cheat. So I gave her an ultimatum to tell her spouse. When she didn't tell him the whole truth, I did. I now feel guilty.